and welcome to Wedding Secrets with me, Claire. Now here at Wedding Secrets, we are the wedding industry experts. We have worked with talent from across the world, producing some of the most incredible weddings. And our key message always is to help you tell your story. Now, one thing we did not expect, or we did not foresee coming, was COVID. Now, unfortunately, COVID has been a really hard time around the world for everyone. Now, within the wedding industry, it's been really hard. We saw many of our bookings being cancelled, and because we work with wedding dress fitters, florists, DJs, caterers, we saw lots of our friends who are also in the industry really struggle. So, what today's video is, it's how to plan a wedding within COVID restrictions. We wanted to bring you this video because when working with our couples, when working with all of our different wedding couples, we have had weddings through all the different stages of COVID. So we feel that we have had that expert knowledge because we've been there, we've worked with restrictions, we've worked with changes. So for those of you who are getting married now, maybe you're still having restrictions in your area, we just wanted to put this video together for you just to give you a peace of mind, and we want to give you some helpful tips as well. With these tips, they might not necessarily be needed for you in your country or your location, but they're there just in case. So let's get started. Now, first and foremost, and this is especially if you're about to get married or you're still planning, because I know here in the UK, restrictions have been dropped, but I know around the world, they have not necessarily. So tip number one, check where you are getting married, check your location. So look at the news, look at the restrictions, and look at the guidelines, not only locally to your area, but have a look nationally as well, especially if you are British and you're getting married abroad or vice versa. So have a look at those. Once you have got that information, you know what you can work with then. You know, okay, my area only allows weddings of 30. That information, okay, I can work with that, that's fine. Number two, throughout the process of planning your wedding, this is so important, keep checking them. Check them on a weekly basis, even a daily basis. National and local guidelines, government guidelines, so you know if there's been any changes, because many of our couples through lockdown, at the very beginning, they had a wedding guest list of 100, then it got dropped down to 30, then it got taken back up so they could have 100 again, but then we had the second wave of COVID, then it went back down to 30 again. So unfortunately, you're going to be having to check day in and day out to make sure you are keeping up with government guidelines. Now, number three, I cannot tell you how important this is. Your vendors, whether that be your venue, your caterers, your wedding planner, your dressmaker, throughout any wedding, even if it wasn't within COVID, you have to keep updated with them. You have to keep communication with them. However, being through COVID, we are talking about communication on a whole new level. What you need to find out continuously from all of your vendors, what are their set rules? So for example, your caterer might say, I need everybody to wear masks and I need 2 meters. Your DJ might say, I need to set up 2 hours before and I can't have anybody touch my equipment. So when you take every one of your wedding party's considerations, so you know exactly what every one of your vendors need you to know, then you're off to a good start. You've got all of that information. And I know it's a lot more effort and it's a lot more hard work than it would have been usually. But we've got to be courteous to our vendors. We've got to show them that we care about their safety as well, which is key, which is absolutely vital. So once you know all the rules from all of your vendors, you can then pass this information on to your guests. And trust me, it will not be as difficult as you think. So for example, if your venue wants you to wear masks, all the guests to wear masks, keep your guests updated. So for example, you could set up a WhatsApp group, a Facebook group, an extra invite or an update invite, and it just makes sure all of your guests know, okay, we've got to stay 2 meters away from the DJ. Okay, we've got to wear masks throughout the day. And then it makes sure everybody is understanding, everybody arrives at the venue knowing what they have to do. And that's the key, Communication with everyone involved in your wedding. Everybody knows what they need to do, and it makes for a much smoother day. Now, just because you're getting married in COVID does not mean you can't get creative. I have seen some wonderful ways that people are taking COVID and getting rid of some wedding traditions and making brand new ones. And I have been to some COVID weddings that have been more creative by far than traditional weddings. So, for example, if your guests are wearing masks, why not personalise masks? Get masks with sequins and with gems on it, so much more fun. Also, if you can't have a dance floor, that doesn't matter. Some weddings created separate spaces, so lots of mini dance floors around the venue, and it worked brilliantly. Honestly, it was so much fun. A good friend of ours, DJ Daddy Mac, he does many events where he's a DJ. So what he did, instead of making people dance together, he bought all of the guest hula hoops, so everyone was hula hooping at a safe distance. He also allowed guests, because guests couldn't walk up to his DJ booth, he gave them all a piece of paper. And on this piece of paper it said, text me the request. So all of the guests were texting requests to the DJ, and it was brilliant because many of us get a bit nervous about going requesting, but the text messages is something that DJ Daddy Max said he's going to keep forever now. So also different ideas. Why not get creative? If you've got to use masks, have creative masks. Hand sanitizer on the tables. Design some beautiful bottles. Why not? Have you thought about signs? So get creative. You can use signs around your venue just to politely remind people about COVID restrictions, but be fun with it. There are some really nice ones, and there is nothing cuter than a sign that says, spread the love, not the germs. How much fun is that? Or there's another one which is, mask up so we can boogie on down. And it's fun, it's putting a smile back on people's face. Now again, another great idea is when the bride and groom, or the partners, whichever way it might be, when they greet the guests, it's quite often a hug, isn't it? Why not get creative? Instead, they give you a little card with a special message on. You know, it's all these little ideas and these traditions that can be transformed. So another thing as well, which we do want you to remember is, let's say you a few years ago invited 300 people to your wedding. Because of COVID, you want to scale down to 100. To uninvite guests, I know it's not always the easiest, but I promise you, they will understand. It's completely normal. Lots and lots of couples have had to do it. Please do not feel bad about it. And I know firsthand, so my friends, Christy and Jack, they sent us the save the date before COVID, but then they messaged us and they said, listen, I just want to keep you all updated. There's a chance we can only have 10 people at the wedding. I do apologise. It's looking very unlikely we can have a big do, but we promise if that is the case, a year after COVID, we will have a separate party for everyone to come and enjoy. So take the pressure off. It's completely normal and it's completely fine. So I've given you a few different tips and tricks there of how to zhuzh up a COVID wedding. But here at Wedding Secrets, above all else, above guests, above worrying about vendors, above anything, what actually is a wedding? It's a day to celebrate your love, and that is all it's really about. So if you can't have all of the thrills, it doesn't matter. The point is you two are going to be walking down the aisle and you're going to be saying, I do. And that's all that matters. When it all comes down to it, that is all that's important. So I want to say, if you aren't getting married during COVID, it's okay. The day is going to be just as special. And if anything, you're going to have even more focus on just you two. So enjoy it. Whether your hands are dripping with sanitizer, whether you've got your big blinged mask on, whether you've got to stay 2 meters, it doesn't matter. The point is, you're getting your day and you're saying I do. Best of luck. Any more messages, just let us know, especially on COVID restrictions. Have a great wedding.